they have wire and cable, they have industrial, they have oil additives, materials modification, tire and tube, etc., etc. But I would say building and construction makes out easily 20% plus minus. Yeah.
Okay.
20 to 30%, depending on how large the automotive part is. So you could say there is 5 to 10%. Yeah, 5 to 10% others.
Okay. Yeah. So it's very focused on automotive and building and construction. Right?
Yes. Correct.
Perfect. And one thing that you mentioned about the strategy, from my view, apparently Lanxess is trying to serve each market regionally with a plant over there. So my guess is that there wouldn't be many exports from one plant to the other. Is that correct? Or is it like most of the sales? Okay.
Yeah.
So
that is correct. What happens, for example, in the automotive industry, if you're, let's say, you can imagine that given the fact that it's a German company, there's a lot of business with the German OEM parts producers. So let's say, for example, that you get a certain gasket or a certain hose or a certain V-belt with Robert Bosch for BMW, then they tell you, Robert Bosch would tell you, okay, for our V-belt production in the United States, we would like to have the same product. That's the reason why they want to introduce the ACE technology worldwide, so that they basically say whether the product comes from Geleen, Netherlands, Orange, Texas, Triunfo, Brazil, or our China plant, it doesn't really matter because it's the same specification we have for the product. And that gives them the opportunity to supply their customers accordingly worldwide. And they would only export if there is, a lack of capacity or for capacity reasons or for turnarounds or other unforeseen, storms on the Gulf Coast, for example, like Harvey the other day, a couple of months ago.
Yeah, that was a huge headache for.
That was nasty.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's how that's another point when they go out there selling themselves. They say, Robert Bosch, rest assured, wherever you are in this world, we have worldwide coverage, and we have per default alternative plans in case we have problems in the U.S. We just ship out of Europe, or we ship out of China, or we ship out of Brazil. Yeah. So that's a clear part of the strategy.
Perfect. Really interesting. All right. And one other thing that we saw that varies a lot between the players is which type of clients they are focusing into, not in terms of segments, but in terms of the position in the value chain. So either the compounder or the distributor, or you're selling directly to the end users. So for Lanxess case, which of those groups was the most representative for the sales? Was it like mostly directly to end users and trying to do this global approach?
Yeah.
So if you had to ask, how much would go to?
Well, I would say 50, 60% easily to the end user. What often happens is, let's take Robert Bosch, for example. What they often do, or Delphi for that matter, they often work with subcontractors. So what happens is that, for example, if they have outsourced their compounding to, for example, Hexpol, which is one of the world's largest rubber compounder, what often happens is that Robert Bosch says to Alanceo, you invoice me at our price, but you send the material to